Tag them. Good morning.
Good morning. So let's just wait a little while for the others to join. We've invited I think more than 20. Most likely there will probably just one or two will join from the 20. So,
Yeah.
No pressure.
so you already know the layout, right? We're going to do so we're all going to do the pares first, and then after the pares, which is led by Chris, then Chris will start the exam or the present.
Did not know that part. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Are we doing things?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, let me go get my sticks. 1 sec.
Yeah, so do something.
They all thought they just got to like eat snacks and laugh. Yeah, that's because you two live in an armory.
So it's a really nice weather right now, and there's lots of people out here. Sorry.
We ordered lunch. So I'm gonna have to sit this one out.
That's all right. You can do the pares with a drumstick.
But I've got chips.
Get
Get a long chip.
That's nice,
You
Bob.
just gotta, you go 1, 2, and then while you're over here, you grab another one.
Very true. I can do that. I will do that. Scallop in one hand.
Arnold's breakfast shelf over there.
Beck and I were just saying, had we met Paulo in Marduku instead of Manila, we might have got to train in more shade.
Actually, that's April and Arya. Over there. They decided to come with me today for a swim.
Nice.
Good choice.
All right. Okay, I think we should start, and then Robert, I think it's automatic when somebody joins, they will just join, right?
That's correct.
All right. Okay, so let's just do the pares first, and take it away, Chris.
Thank you. All right, I'll let everyone get a bit of space and some weaponry. Considering everyone's training in less space than they normally do. I'd say, Beck, don't worry about hitting the walls, but I think you've got more worried about a Sparta hitting you. All right. Spartas 1 and 2, we'll use the standard template. Preparar. Or actually, because we're doing this formally, saludo. Preparar. Spartas 1 and 2. The first 4 across, the next 2 forward, the next 2 back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 forward, 5, 6 and back, 7 and 8. Showing the preparar. 3 and 4.
No, Chris, let's do the pares combining.
Oh, the pasunod.
Yes, pasunod.
Okay.
And let's do it really fast. Okay, let's go.
I mean, okay. 3 and 4 for a 4 count because we'll add it together. And go. 3, 4, 3, 4, Turn to preparar. As I said, we'll do a 4 count because we're doing the passing on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Whoop. We'll do 4 counts as well. 2. 3. 4. 5 and 6. 4 strikes. And 5, 6, 5, 6. Preparar. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. 2.
Let's pick up
3. This time with faster.
Let's pick. Okay, let's do it
All right, we'll
really
just
fast.
do 2 reps of each then. 2 reps of each. So we'll add 7 and 8. Again, retreating and advancing because it's our standard pattern. 7, 8, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Preparar. Second rep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Preparar. 9 and 10, 4 counts. 9, 10, 9, 10. Preparar. 1 to 10 for 2 counts. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Preparar. 1 more count, this time with feeling. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 and 12 for 4 counts. Retreating on 11, advancing on 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Full set. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 1 more time with proper feeling. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whew. Oh, now more.
A little.
Was this a trick to try to get me like breathy before we start? All right. Greetings to all attending today, especially to my teacher, Grandmaster
All right, thank you.
Bernas,
Let's
Manunudlo
start with the
Malo,
camp.
and Manunudlo Robert.
Oh, the pancake is still cooking.
Oh, I think it's all okay. It's all working again. Today I'm here to present Bernas Estocadas, a fighting art developed by Grandmaster William Bernas, and a combination of the arts he studied on the island of Negros with people like his uncle, his grandfather, and at places like the Navalis Anis Clinic. It's a comprehensive fighting system that can incorporate other arts seamlessly and is designed to be effective, dynamic, and allowed to fight a single or multiple opponents. The component we are going to be looking at today is single baston. The these are our fundamentals that we see in every class. The first of which we've already done, which is our saludo. To execute our salute, my hand comes over my chest. If I'm holding a weapon, the tip is up. My feet come together, and then there's a small bow. This shows respect for both the art and the people that we are training with. Next, we will talk about our prepara, which is our preparatory stance. This is our ready stance. It's a back stance with our weight primarily on the back foot and my hands forward in a ready position. I don't want them too low or too high or too loose, but capable and ready, showing that we are prepared for what is to come. We have our positions of the stick. These can be in abierta or cerrada or central. In our abierta positions, we have a low abierta, middle abierta, high abierta. We also have cerrada of low, middle, and high. A central position, likewise, can be abierta or cerrada. On our positions, we also have garage part. This is our chamber. Our chamber can be in many positions, and it shows that we are ready to strike or defend. After this, we have the pangiat, possibly saying that wrong, which is our handling. We should have at least 2 to 3 fingers of puño at the base of the stick. When we're gripping the stick, it's primarily with our bottom 3 fingers, with our thumb and forefinger available later for disarms, for catching, and also it allows for better stick motion and mobility. We have our left hand as well, which is very, very important. For this, you'll quite often see as we're stepping forward, a push. This is pigar. It's used to control an opponent, to move an opponent, or to set them up for the following strike. Later on, when we look at our defensa, you'll quite often see this impacting or catching the hand, which leads on to lagambuaya, which is our crocodile mouth. This is designed to catch and to grab. Again, also to control, so we can more effectively work against our opponent. We'll now move into the panindog, which is our basic stances, of which we have a few. As we saw in Pepera, we have a back stance. We can use our back stance for transferring, and when we are transferring forward, we maintain our position in our back stance. We can move back, forward, and to the side, all using our back stance. I'll demonstrate our back stance in our standard template with basic weapon shifting. If I'm adding the weapon shifting, this also becomes palakat, which is our footwork drills with our weapon shifting. This can be used wide-ranging and not just in the standard template. Back stance in the standard template. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Returning to prepara. We have a forward stance. Like the back stance, except my weight is forward on the leg in the direction of my travel. This is exceedingly important later when we get to our defensa and through a variety of our strikes. I'll demonstrate our forward stance in our standard template, which has it being similar to on the spot, transferring forward and then transferring back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We also have a cat stance, which is quite often used when we're transferring with our strikes and defenses, of which my weight is primarily on one foot with little to no weight on the other foot. This quite often allows for dynamic transfers of weight. I'll demonstrate it through our standard template now. For the standard template for our cat stance, we are going to start with a small retreat back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As a low stance, we have a horse stance. For this, I'm evenly distributed and keeping low center of mass. Again, this is great for striking low and for transitioning between other stances, which we'll demonstrate later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last but not least, we have our crossing stance. This is the one that seems to trip people up the most. Our crossing stance, unlike our cat stance, although it looks similar, is evenly weighted and our feet are crossed. My weight is solidly and flat on my right foot with my left foot up. When we demonstrate this beginning with a retreat. It can also be used to travel forward. Another advantage of our crossing stance is our ability to pivot on the spot without redeploying our feet. Then I can be in this position and then may turn and strike without transferring my mass. I'll demonstrate this in the standard pattern, starting with a retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Returning to prepara. These are our fundamental stances. As I said at the start, we can also use these with our halakat, which is mirroring our pares pares that we did at the start of the session, but without throwing the entire strike. This is useful for beginners to train them in the footwork without confusing them about worrying about actually having to throw the strike at the same time. To move forward, we'll look at the offensa. The offensa in das Estocadas is 12 fundamental strikes. I'll demonstrate each, mention a number of their variations, and talk about their striking points. All of these are often linked to a particular style of footwork and positioning, but as we discover as we move further on, this can also depend upon need and where the opponent is at the time. Offensive 1. Our initial strike often begins with a pigar and garaje, and as I transfer across to my cat stance, I strike high, aiming at the temple of my opponent. I will demonstrate 2 times. Our transfer here is often stepping to a cat stance, prepared for a returning strike as we come back. This returning strike is our strike number 2. When we look at the defensa, offensa, we quite often look at them in the pares pares, which are matched sets of pairs, being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12. As such, Whoppy.
The big
Strike
aspect
number
of
2.
so it's really present in our kicks. There's a lot of those movements.
Our strike number 2, we're going to be striking high again on the other side of the temple. And I thought it'd just be snacks that I could hear with people. All right. Our strike 2. From here, because I'm starting in a prepared stance.
Sorry, Chris, let me interrupt because there are some people who can't join the Zoom session. I don't know, for some reason it says host is
It's Robert's fault.
busy. So I sent the latest.
Not a problem.
link
Gives me a
from-
second to grab a mouthful of water.
All right, anyway, so yeah, please continue. Robert, just
1
look at
second,
this.
it's just started raining here, so I'm just going to close a window. Back in a second. Okay, all good. All right, offensive 2. Matched to our offensive 1, which was a high forehand strike to the temple, we have offensive 2. This is a high backhand strike, also aimed at the temple. To assist this, as it is coming from my left-hand side and my sarada position, I can also add kiwal, which is a flick. Oh, you're going to make me hungry, Paul. I saw that. All right. He's not sorry at all. Again, offensive 2, you will also see, actually, before I mention offensive 2, you'll see something that is significant in this particular style. That if we are coming to our left, you'll quite often see a retreat of the weapon led by the puño to a resting position on the back of the arm. To contrast this to an art similar to decampo, that I know many of the people in our audience today practice, the campo quite often has a closed position. Estocadas quite often has an open position. This allows to flick the weapon, and also the body mechanic allows the push to come naturally. Offensive 2. Again, in a moment when we demonstrate the pares, you'll see that strikes 1 and 2 are linked and flow harmoniously together. Strike 3, an upward strike aimed at the knee. Again, much like 1, I can step forward with pigar, and as I step, I can strike up at the target before closing my weapon back to our rest position in serrada. To demonstrate with more fluidity. Again, the variations that I'm demonstrating are basic variations, as this can also be done as a lifting strike that comes up higher, as we'll see later in our offensive defensa, but generally executed low and striking at the leg. This is especially important as later when we get to the pangawai and the fighting aspects of Estocadas, we often prioritize height shifting. So if we have executed 1 or 2 high strikes, our next strike may be intended as a low strike to change our height. Again, strike number 3. Strike 4 is 3's counterpart. It is coming from the left, striking up to the right, and again, targeting the knee. Both of these strikes can come to a middle position or can return to a low position in tumbada. Again, strike 4. Important that this strike should lift. Strike 5, offensive 5, is a thrust to the chest. For this, as opposed to the cat stances that we were moving in a moment ago, we step out and transition to a forward stance. It's a horizontal thrust to the line of the chest. This is our fundamental training variation. We can also use this as a variation traveling forward. Many of the strikes have an inbuilt parry with our left hand. Strike 5 demonstrated a number of times. Also to note here is as I step forward for pigar, instead of my weapon being in high abierta or garaje, it is in a forward position, ready to thrust. Strike 6, a returning thrust, also aimed at the chest. Strike 6. Offensive 7. Offensive 7 can have a different variation depending on whether it is advancing or retreating. It is a straight strike cutting from high to low, with the other hand coming up either as a guard, a parry, or a catch. I'll demonstrate side on. Important, be aware that the strike does not just travel from the mid position, but lifts to strike down. If I am retreating with strike 7, offensive 7, my right foot comes into cat position. If I am advancing, my left foot passes forward, also into a turned out cat position. This allows for transfer for further strikes. Strike 8 is from the 7 position or from our preparat position and is a direct thrust to the stomach. Again, I'm transferring into a forward stance with my left hand affecting a parry or catch. Strike 9 and 10, 2 of my personal favorites, are a chop to the neck with built-in parry. For strike 9, I step, my weapon chambers towards my left, I automatically parry, and strike at the neck as a chop, ensuring that I'm stepping offline and attacking. This can be used as a temple strike, but we often aim it towards the neck or the jaw. Strike 10. Again, the opposite of 9. I'm stepping off to my right this time, catching, parry and strike. Again, stepping offline and moving to a cat stance position. Strike 11. Again, a strike with variations for retreating and advancing. Our standard version, I push the weight to my back leg, a small parry, my weapon strikes up, aiming at the crotch or midsection, but again, a lifting straight strike, as opposed to 3 and 4, diagonal lifting strikes. Offensive 11. If I'm advancing, I can step behind for my crossing stance. I can also use this to retreat and travel with strike 11. Offensive 12 is a reversing thrust to the eye line. Again, with the built-in parry. These are our 12 fundamental strikes in Bernas Estocadas. We'll soon combine them in the pares pares and the pasanod pares pares and use them in a variety of other ways. We will now examine the defensa. These are the defensive movements of Bernas Estocadas. The way they are demonstrated here is not how they are used in combat, but how they are used in training. As such, they are static and do not have anything that follows after them. A key important point of Bernas Estocadas is the moment that I have defended and controlled the weapon, I am immediately countering with follow-up strikes. Demonstrated here, you will also note the use of triangular footwork to step off the line, often moving into a forward stance with a slight body motion to position the defender offline of the attack. This allows for effective follow-up. Defensa 1, defending the high line strike to the temple. I step offline, my strike reaches out to meet, and my other hand, in my nakubawe position, catches the wrist. Again, moving the body offline, aiming to collect. Defensa 2 is the same on the opposing side. Again, defending the high line strike to the temple. You will also note again that when I'm moving directly to Serrata, a circling motion happens with my weapon hand. Defensa 3. This is defending the rising strike to the knee. For Defensa 3, I am stepping offline, striking down in my horse stance, and catching past the target. Again, I don't want to just throw it here as my knee is still in the strike zone. So I'm moving offline, striking, catching. In all of these, I need to impact a small amount of force into my opponent's weapon to slow or destabilize the strike and allow a better catch and retaliation. Defensa 3. Defensa 4. When executing Defensa 4, the strike from the other side to the knee, I have a slight difference in technique. For this, as I step offline and strike, my nakambawe now is rotated with my thumb up. Again, I'm back to transferring to a forward stance. Defensa 5 is our first defensa with variation. The fundamental version. I step, defend the thrust to my chest while catching the limb. I can reinforce on my arm if need be, or strike first and catch. Again, my thumb is in the upright position. Demonstrations again. A variation here would be, depending on my striking position, if it takes too long to invert my weapon, I can do my initial guard with weapon up. If that fails, move into a secondary guard. All of these guards can be aimed at impacting the weapon and catching the wrist, or depending on range, striking straight to the limb of the opponent. This is particularly effective if we are using blade instead of stick, as it inhibits the opponent's will to carry on the fight. Defensa 6. Again, defending the thrust to the chest. Here I move serrada and strike out, as opposed to 2 that was aimed high. My 6 is aimed horizontal. Defensa 6. Again, there is correlation between the motion of the step, the weapon, and the live hand. Defensa 7. Defending the straight drop strike. For this, in the version that we are going to do for the standard template, I step offline, I strike the weapon up and away while catching the wrist. For here, we also include waslik, or a flick to the weapon. This is to make sure that I'm striking with a slightly more level of force and keeping the weapon away from me to discharge it. Again. This can also be executed similar to 6, stepping to the other direction as needed. Defensa 8. Like 4, this is a low strike. Now, however, we are adding a waslik. This is to defend the thrust. So instead of being all the way down here, depending on where the thrust is originating from, it can also travel slightly more through the midsection. Again, my thumb is in the upright position. Because of the next motion that's coming, I don't want my stick to travel all the way up. I need to keep it low, as my next motion is an immediate counter. Defensa 9. To defend the 9, this is the chop to the neck. I'm stepping forward, striking, and catching the limb if able. This can either be a horse stance or push forward further into a forward stance. Demonstration. Actually, possibly easier to demonstrate this one side on. Again, almost the same. Yeah. Again, the strike is creating a full arc. Defensa 10, the chop coming to the other side of my neck. I step forward to engage with my weapon driving forward. I can reinforce on the arm, and again, I am catching behind. I want to impact and catch. Once we get to the offensive defensa, there is an additional motion here where this can also pass and have a further check. Impact, pass and check. Impact, pass and check. Defensa 11. This is defending the rising strike. I step offline, my weapon comes down, and I move forward. Again, aiming to check their weapon and capture their wrist if available. the pensa 12. This is defending the high line strike at the head, the high line thrust at the eyes, I should say. I step offline, much like earlier, my strike comes up. Again, I'm aiming at about 45 degrees this time with a small waslick to discharge the thrust, ensuring that my body position is moving off the line of attack in case my defense or my catch is insufficient. I'll now demonstrate each of these in the pares pares, which some of us did at the start. To save a bit of time, I'll demonstrate each pair 4 times.
Magandang handle na rin. Yung bili namin meron lang eh.
Pares pares 1 and 2, offensa. Actually, if I'm doing 8, I may as well do the standard template. So let's do it again. Again, 1 and 2 in the standard template. This includes advancing and retreating.
Hold on, Chris, sorry. Our internet is getting. Have a little bit of rest. Me and Master Bernas is just gonna show a little bit of the defensa so that the audience
Sure.
will understand what they're actually doing in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here are some
So-
demonstration models I prepared earlier.
Yes, usually in the exam, you should have a partner, so we're gonna do this for you, okay? So 1,
Too kind.
so this is number 1. Okay, so 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. This is number 4. This is number 5. Look at that. Number 5. Number 6. 6. Number 7. Look at that. Number 8. Number 9. Number 9 again. Number 10. Number 10. Number 11. And number 12. So those are the 12 blocks in Bernas Estocadas. Usually a follow-up.
You guys did great. You passed.
Thank you. All right.
All right. So we'll look at the pares pares. I'll do this in the standard template, which means for each set of strikes, you'll see it stationary. In fact, there are variations of the strikes that we'll use in this standard template that are specifically designed to be lateral variations. We will then look at them advancing and retreating. We'll do this for both the offensa and the defensa. And then move back into the paso no pares pares, or as I like to call it, the cardio portion of the entire event. So let's go. All right. Pares pares 1 and 2 in the standard template of 8 strikes. 1, 2, 1, 2, advancing, 1, 2, 1, 2. 3 and 4. I keep forgetting that I've made extra space. I can step back. 3, 4, 3, 4, advancing, 3, 4, 3, 4. 5 and 6. 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. 7 and 8. For this, there'll be a variation. We can often use this as retreating, advancing. To make this fit with the standard template, we'll use a variation of traveling left and right, then advancing, then retreating. 7, 8, 7, 8, advancing. 7, the difference in the left foot. 8, 7, 8. 9 and 10. 9, 10, 9, 10. Advancing. 9, 10, 9, 10. 11 and 12. Again, a variation here for lateral motion before advancing or retreating. 11, 12, 11, 12. The advancing allows a cross step. 11, 12, as does the retreat. 11, 12. We will now examine the depensa through the same patterns. For this, we utilize a triangular stepping pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2, advancing. 1, 2, and retreating. 1, 2. 3 and 4. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. 5 and 6. Did I just switch? Oh no, I'm doing the defensive. Sorry, I thought I just switched between offensive and defensive for a second. My apologies. All right, let's keep going. Defensive 5 and 6. Oh, bad times. 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. 7 and 8. 7, 8. Whoop. Allow me to try that one again. 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. 9 and 10. 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. 11 and 12. 11, 12, 11, 12, 11, 12, 11, 12. Oh, it's tough just saying it out loud as I keep going. We'll now move on to the Pasamod pares. For this system, it combines and the standard template disappears as we are doing it continuously. For this, I'll demonstrate each of the strikes 4 times, and then we'll add it to a pattern demonstrated twice, once for fluidity, once for force. Strikes 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Strikes 3 and 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. Strikes 1 to 4, fluidly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strikes 5 and 6. 5, 6, 5, 6. 1 to 6, fluidly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With enthusiasm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. 7 and 8. Again, 7 starts as a retreating motion. 7, 8, 7, 8. 1 to 8 with fluidity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nine and 10. 9, 10, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eleven and 12. Could have been a less humid day. That would have been nice. 11 and 12. 11, 12, 11, 12. This is why I said this was the cardio component. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, the whole thing. I almost went to do 11 and 12 straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I like that all the people that have had to do this before are going, yay, it's not us.
Bravo. All right, breathe.
Pensa. I'm breathing, just heavily. All right. We'll go through the same thing, looking at the depensa. Again, I'll demonstrate 2 to 4 times with each depensa, and then we'll slowly build them up. I ain't gonna get a mouthful of water. From now on, let's set all gradings in the middle of winter. Okay. Depensa 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Depensa 3 and 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. Depensa 1 to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I figure if I go extra slow and I go middle on the next part, it still looks faster, right? That's how that works. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Depensa 5 and 6. 5, 6. 5, 6. With fluidity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have got you guys to keep a tally of the number of times I have to clean the sweat off the stick. She's like, they're not already. All right. Depensa 7 and 8. 7, 8. 7, 8. Again, the motion you'll see in Estocadas quite often. This, following the puño sort of motion. Very nice. All right, let's do it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Depensa 9 and 10. 9, 10, 9, 10. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 and 12. 11, 12. 11, 12. All together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here's the fun one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, so that concludes Hasinod Pares Pares. Now for the fun part, Dugway. Love Dugway. Due to my space, there is a chance that in the middle of the Dugway advancing or retreating, I may take a small shuffle back. This is just an artifact of the space, not the actual technique. Well, I did clear extra, we'll see how we go. Oh, I should explain what the Dugway are. The Dugway are forms and patterns that utilize a variety of our strikes. The 4 versions that I'm going to demonstrate are the most simple of the Dugway that we have learned. This is 1 and 2 are advancing with either offense or defense. At the end of the path, there is a turn and a return to our initial position. Dugways 3 and 4 start to introduce the concept of fighting against multiple opponents, in that each of our strikes and defenses are transitioning to different directions. Slightly easier to do in a small space. But Dugway 1, advancing, offensa. Dugway 1, saludo. It says hitting the thing behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For here, the puño of the stick comes to my left shoulder. My left foot comes in as I rotate. Return to preparar and follow the same sequence again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll now move on to Dugway 2. This is the same pattern, but utilizing the depensa. For this one in particular, after depensa 5, I'll shuffle back a little bit again. This is a factor of my space, not the drill itself. Dugway 2. Saludo, preparar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, got more space than I thought. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turning to the right this time, returning to preparar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I will now demonstrate Dugways 3 and 4. Both of these are executed on a cross that allows us to move in all 4 directions when striking or defending. As training with Grandmaster Bernas has shown, these can also be used as templates to add additional strikes and to build from. As such, they demonstrate as very useful tools for learning Bernas Estocadas. Dugway 3, offensa, cross. Saludo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Important here is ensuring before each strike, for example, 1 to 2, 1, that I look and assess where my opponent is first. I do not simply turn blindly. Examine, step, strike. I'll now demonstrate Dagwai 4, Depensa. This follows the same fundamental template of 4 directions. Dagwai 4, Saludo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. With the completion of Dagwai 4, this completes the section of Abecedario. I'll now grab a small drink before moving on to the Pungawai. So would you?
All right. Did you mention about the blocks that were?
We did Depensa once or twice. The demonstration of them was not how they're actually used in fighting, or?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, actually, fair point. For Dagwai 4, this may be what Paolo was alluding to. I'm not sure. I'll ask him in a second. But an important point now that it's come back to me. When I'm striking for the Dagwai, for example, if I'm here and my initial strike is here, I can strike forward on the line. If I'm defending, however, my defense isn't stepping straight down the line. My defense is stepping off the line. This is very, very important. It actually means that when you look at the Dagwai 3, all of the strikes are on the cross. When you look at the Dagwai 4, all of the strikes basically have you stepping into the intermediate places in the middle. Which, if you've practiced it one way and then learned the other, it can be a bit of a confusion, but it's very, very important to ensure that when you're stepping to meet something, you can step and defend off the line. Was that what you're after? Awesome, yeah. Okay, Pungawai. This is where we actually get to the fighting elements of Bernas Estocadas. The Abecedario is our fundamental training. It's all of the building blocks. It's our language that we use to now speak combatively. Our first area of Pungawai is the Tagdua. These are sequential pairs of strikes, but unlike the pares pares that always start in the abierta, these alternate. So it will be 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. I'll demonstrate each set on the standard template. I did say I was going to try to keep this an hour. I think I've already failed that. Oh, so close. Yeah, bring it on. All good. We're halfway through. It's fine. It's all the fun stuff now. Okay, so in the Tagdua, our first one is 1 and 2. I'll demonstrate these quickly with less preamble. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 2, 3. Need slightly more space to my right this time. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. 3 and 4. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. My neighbors are going to wonder what I'm yelling. I might stop with the such loud voices. That's fine. 4 and 5. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. He says doing it anyway. Never mind. 5 and 6. 5, 6, 5, 6. Traveling forward. 5, 6, 5, 6. 6 and 7. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. 7 and 8. Again, as these are on the standard template, they'll be transferring left and right. 7 and 8. 7, 8, 7, 8. Transferring forward now. 7, 8, 7, 8. 8 and 9. Little space on the left this time. 8, 9, 8, 9. Traveling forward. 8, 9, 8, 9. 9 and 10. 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. 10 and 11. 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11. 11 and 12. 11, 12, 11, 12, 11, 12, 11, 12. Slightly closer to the TV on that strike than I'd like. We'll now move on to the tag-tatlo. Where the last combination was pairs, we now move into triplets. For this, our first 3 strikes advance. We then retreat, starting on the next strike. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. For me personally, every time I do this one, I mess up the counting, and this time it's going to go perfect. Watch. I've set myself up for it now. I've got to own up to it. Shouldn't have done that. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12.
You did it. Bravo.
It's usually about the start on the 7. I sit there and go, wait, what number was I on a second ago? The skill I can do, the counting gets me. Okay, so we've looked at the fundamental strikes of Bernas Estocadas earlier with our 12 offensa. We've used them in pares, we've used them in pairs, we've used them in triplets. Now let's add some additional strikes. These are special strikes or things that we can add to flourish. These are our palabulak. We have 4 of them. The first one I'll demonstrate is wasiwas. Wasiwas is a lateral strike that we can also do in a low path. Wasiwas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I can really use the kiwal here to give it a bit of an extra oomph, as Beck's whiteboard can attest. I've seen the mark she left when hitting something accidentally with this. I never want to be hit by a wasiwas. All right, redonda. Redonda. This is a circling strike that stays on the same side, as opposed to 1 or 2 that cross. Our redonda stays on the same side. Redonda. I'll now execute the first pattern, which is redonda, wasiwas, redonda, wasiwas. I'll do it here where I got space. I'll demonstrate the pattern a number of times. We now add pal-pal. Pal-pal is often used as a strike, striking down on the opponent. However, it can also curve to strike the inside of the head or strike the outside, depending on need and position. Pal-pal. 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be executed together, although we will often see a step. Again, even in just demonstrate these, you can see the usefulness of wasi-was in that to transfer sides, I'm already utilizing the motion of wasi-was. And if I already have to move in that path, I may as well weaponize it. As most Kali schools, I feel, will agree. All right. We've demonstrated pal-pal. We'll now demonstrate pal-pal, wasi-was, redonda. Pal-pal, wasi-was, redonda. Pal-pal, wasi-was, redonda. Bad redonda. Pal-pal, wasi-was. Again, to do this correctly. Pal-pal, wasi-was, redonda. Pal-pal, wasi-was, redonda. These strikes should be executed with intent to actually strike the target. We'll add our third, abanico. The abanico in Bernas Estocadas is designed to strike on both sides, and to this end can also include footwork on both strikes that allow full body transfer and full impact of the weapon, as opposed to in some positions where a locked body position may limit my ability to apply equal force on both sides. This can also be used effectively to transfer forward and set up for further strikes. Abanico. Oh, unlike our pal-pal, which quite often executes from the outside of our body, our abanico quite often executes from the inside of our path. Abanico. In full component. Pal-pal, wasi-was, abanico, redonda. Pal-pal, wasi-was, abanico, redonda. If I am stepping with my abanico, this also provides the opportunity on my redonda to pull my legs back together, to contract my hip, and to increase the force of my strike. This can be used either advancing or retreating. With slightly more enthusiasm, the pattern. We'll now move in to the part that's slightly more challenging, but more fun. Pummel-away combinations. Here, we're combining our fundamental strikes and our pala block together. I've selected 5 that I'll demonstrate now. I'll demonstrate them a number of times slowly and then demonstrate one at full force. But as my shirt's starting to get quite a bit wet, I'm having slightly more challenge moving. We'll see how we go. Apparently, I'm slightly nervous in front of a panel. Who'd have thought? Let's see. All right, our first one is 3, 2, 1, redonda, 2. We have some additional components in this. 3, 2, 1, redonda. Again, utilizing the draw of my legs together to add to my redonda. As the last strike is a 2, I can add tumbada, where my strike now strikes all the way to the ground. Again, we often see in the combinations of Bernas Estocadas a preference for changing levels. In this pattern, we see this as well. Our first strike is low. Our second strikes are high with a sharp redonda. And my 2 allows me to drop and finish. From here, we repeat the pattern in the reverse. 3, 2, 1, redonda, 2. Again, tumbada feels very good unless you're my downstairs neighbors. Again, when even from a high line strike, I can ensure that my redonda has a pop and full power. We'll next look at a slightly different pattern. For this one, Rudunda, wasiwas, 2, 1, wasiwas. Again, for my final strike, I don't have to come all the way to closed. And as it is a wasiwas, a horizontal strike, I can maintain that middle chamber position. Again, forward and back. Rudunda, wasiwas, which can be executed low as well. 2, 1, wasiwas. Rudunda, wasiwas, 2, 1, wasiwas. Here I'm using the wasiwas as a low strike, as it gives me a height change from my 2 and my 1 with enthusiasm. Third one. For this, we'll look at 3 into 11. Because my 3 is low, I can execute my 11 as a high short strike. From here, I reverse to Rudunda, pal, wasiwas. Oh, maybe I should wait till he gets back. Wow, I didn't think I was executing it that badly. So, how's everyone Sunday? Yeah. Sleep in, good food, relaxing day, a little bit of cardio. Yeah. I should do acrobatics.
We got disconnected, but continue.
Sorry, Beck was asking me to do tricks to keep people entertained.
Just give me a second. I've just got to get you back on my screen.
All right, sorry.
Or is it that one? There we go.
All right. What were we up to? I just finished the offense of the Pensa. So that was it. Yeah, well done me. Checks in the mail. No. Okay, so we're looking at a colorway combination 3. Look, thank you, just forget it. So here we're going 3, short 11, returning with my Rudunda, pal, wasiwas. I can close for the end of this wasiwas or leave it as an extended position. Again, forward and backwards. 3, 11, Rudunda, pal, wasiwas. 3, 11. Again, I have variations of my 11 that I can utilize here. I could step. I could strike my 3 and retreat here. All of these are valid and depend on space and where my opponent is, or where I need to move at the time. I just realized I didn't finish going back, so I'll do it now. 3, 11, Rudunda, pal, wasiwas. 3, 11, Rudunda, pal, wasiwas. 4th, 7, 8, 3, Rudunda, 4. Again, even though my 4 is a rising strike, I can finish Tumbada as it's my finishing strike. So again, advancing, 7, 8, 3, Rudunda, 4. 7, 8, 3, Rudunda, 4. With enthusiasm. Oops. Nothing better than being halfway through a technique and forgetting how it goes. Let's do it again. 7, 8, 3, Rudunda, 4. 7, 8, 3, Rudunda, 4. All right, one more. This time for sure. right, moving on. 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. So no parabolic in this one, but an interesting combination of strikes that allow for variation. So where last time we opened with a straight down strike, there could be an initial strike, or it could just be to move the opponent back and put them in a better position for the thrust. This time we start with a thrust. 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. Again, apologies to my neighbors downstairs. 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. Now, for the interesting part. Generally, the next component would be shown with a partner. Due to the fact that where I'm living, we're still kind of in a weird COVID bubble. I'll be demonstrating the 4 levels of the Pensa solo. To make this more of an understanding, I'll show each level of the Pensa in its 4 levels as we move through. This will make sense. It makes sense in my head. It should make sense in yours. It'll be fun. We'll be great. All right. Depensa 1, as we demonstrated earlier, is our initial block. When it comes to our Depensa at the fundamental level, we have 4 variations. We have our block, we have a single counter, we have multiple counter, and then we have an evasion. The evasion happens when our training partner or the opponent throws an additional strike once we've already moved into our defensive countermeasures. Beyond this, we also have disarms and multiple disarms, although today I'll only be showing the first 4 levels. Depensa 1. Depensa 1 is our highlight block. In a training situation, this is the first level that a student would practice, practicing it against a simply fed strike. Once they are confident, we add a single counter. For the highline strike 1, our easiest chamber is here, which means my next strike is the 2. Again, a pigar and a nakamoi is super important here, in that I catch, push, or drive down. I can drive down with my strike as well, and then I strike. So my first level of single counter, block, counter. Block, counter. Again, I'm transferring my body weight to my cat stance. I'm not staying in front of the opponent and trying to do it all. I'm staying dynamic. And next level is multiple counters. For this, we have our block, our single counter, our second counter, and as my first 2 have been high, my next counter is low. In this case, it is 4, which again, I can include a tumbada, or depending on what I need, I might also choose to move to my cat stance. Again, in demonstration. Block, first counter, second counter, third counter. Block, first, second, third. Again, my hand is coming up to control, check, or parry. Ultimately, once I have control of my opponent, I don't want to give it back to them, especially if I'm controlling their weapon. I want to use my mobility and my stances to transfer to be an unpredictable opponent and hard to hit target while I defend it. If I was demonstrating this with a partner, as I execute the low strike, they commit a second strike at my head. It would be block, first counter, second counter. Their next strike is a strike 2 aimed at my temple. For this, I move under the strike, check the hand, strike the knee, and finish the opponent. Depensa 2. Depensa 2 is much the same, just reversed, which is nice. Level 1, blocking. Level 2, single counter. Level 3, multiple counters. In a second. First counter, second counter. My third counter is low. Block, counter, counter, counter. Again, I want my stepping to move me around. I don't want to stay still and attempt to block. Not as effective, and they're going again. It's all right. More tricks.
Yeah, continue. Just continue.
Oh, they are there. Okay. So it disappeared. All right, I'll
So
keep going.
I think this is the last part of our
Yeah, this is the last part.
of the exam. So after this, we're gonna demonstrate a little bit, me and Master Bernas.
Excellent.
So
Thank you. Very kind of you.
the audience will also understand what we're trying to do there with the defense.
Yep. All right, I'll continue to move through.
Oh man.
Defense of 3 is our first low defense. I defend low, level 1 blocking. Again, stepping my knee away from the strike side and making sure I can intercept their strike on the way down. Single counter, strike, 2. Single counter, strike, 2. Multiple counters, defend, 2, 1, 4. Defend, 2, 1, hit the wall, 4. If there was a secondary strike from my opponent, I would defend, 2, 1. As their 4 comes in, I parry the 4, I strike the knee as I transfer across. Again, I can stay tumbada in a horse stance or transfer to a forward stance or move across to my cat stance. Defensive 5 for offensive defensive. Single blocking, block and catch. Again, thumb up. Oh wait, I skipped 4. Defensive 4. I like 5 better. Anyway, 4. As I step offline, I'm striking low with my thumb up. This is actually, I take it back, I like 4 better. Let's go to more fun counter. I defend here. Defend and catch. Initial return. Defend, instead of being a high line strike, as I'm already low, I return with a 3 that lifts up to a higher chamber in serrata. Again, to demonstrate, block, 3. In mind as well, defensive 4 is often executed as a retreat and then an advance for the strike. So to demonstrate the retreating variation again, I can retreat and then advance, striking the knee on my way past. Offensive defensive 4 is the first one where the opponent's counter is slightly earlier. It's normally on the 3rd strike. This one, it's on the 2nd. They strike a number 9 to my neck. As such, defend, 3. From this position, the 9 comes at the neck, check and attack. Well, actually, in fairness, I should show the multiple counters version without the worry about the thing. Defend, 3, 9, 10. Defend, 3, 9, 10. With the concept of them countering, defend, 3, block and check the 9 while returning my own to their neck. Again, aiming to catch the elbow or just above. Pass the arm as you step offline to their other side and strike. You'll see often when we practice the 10 to start with, this motion of the arm. This is a catch and retention. Again, 4, 3, 9, 10. Moving on to 5. Defense of 5, I block and catch. Again, my thumb is up for this one. I strike with a 2, a 1, and then a 4. First level block. First counter, 2. Multiple counter, 1, 4. Block, first, multiple. Defense of 6. Defense of 6 is much like 2, with my block lower as opposed to higher. Block, block, single counter, 1, 1, multiple counter, block, 1, 2, 3. Block, 1, 2, 3. By block, 1, 2, 3. Even while executing my 2 here, I can utilize my pigar to strike, interrupt, or reposition my opponent or otherwise control them. Defense of 7. Again, many of these are very, very similar. Initial defense. Initial defense. This is my block. Block and single counter. Block, 1. Block, 1. Block, 1. Multiple counter. Block, 1, 2, 3. Block, 1, 2, 3. Again, aiming to strike through and impact the knees. Again, whenever you see the low 3 or 4 with the hand, they're usually striking the 1 or the 2, as the masters have offered to demonstrate at the end, as in my current situation, it's slightly tougher. Defense of 8. Again, much like 3, this is low, but we include a waslet now. Initial defense, 1. Okay, ensuring that the weapon transfers across my body so that I can adequately use the rotation of my hip and my body to enhance the waslet and the impact. Initial defense, initial counter is again a rising 3. So I step, block and defend. Again, this is why we don't want our stick all the way up. Small enough. This also allows us to hook and control the weapon. Return with the 3 to the knee. 1, 2. 1, 2. The usefulness of the hand being in a thumbs up position, this goes for 3 as well, is as I strike, it gives me a very useful ability to pop their elbow, to lift their striking arm out of the way, and strike through underneath. This also positions them, unfortunately, for the 9, which means I get to my multiple counters now. Defend, strike the knee, defend the 9, show my 10. Again, defend, 3, 9, 10. Defend, 3, 9, 10. Moving into defense of 10. Defense of 10 and 11 are slightly different as they have more components to them. So, defense of 10, again, is our thrust. For our other positions here, we'd usually strike a 2. Because of the arm position of the 10, however, we change to a small shift, push the elbow again, so we have 2 pigar motions, and then step forward for the strike. Oh, I forgot 9. Yeah, thank you. I think it's because I just had to strike 9 that I was like, oh, cool, I've done 9. Yeah, my bad. All right. Okay, defense of 9. 9, again, I'm meeting the strike, catching the wrist if I can. Single counter. Defending low, attacking with the higher level 1. 9, strike 1. Multiple counters. Again. 1, 2, 3. 9, 1, 2, 3. Again, at this point, I defended, counter, counter. Their high line strike comes in this case, a 1. I pass under the strike up at the limb, and finish. Now for 10, which has 4 counters when we get to that level. Level 1 blocking, however, is just impact and catch. Impact and catch. Again, remembering that this is a chop to the throat or to the head. With a single counter, I'm countering with a 1 because I have a cambiata. So again, here, we pass the weapon. Again, I check the elbow again, and then I initiate 1. It feels counterintuitive to start with, as previously in the system when we've defended here, much as we do for 1, we chamber for 2. So, step and block, push, 1. Step and block, chamber, 1. Step and block, 1. Multiple counters. Conveniently for 10, they're in order. One, 2, 3. Our 3 here is still low. Actually, sorry, our 3 here is high as it's defending the 9, so we can strike into that. And then we also have a 4 at the end. So again, I'll demonstrate. Block, over, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, the 4 is the high one. My apologies. Block, pass, 1, 2, 3, and as the 9 attacks the neck, 4. My 4 rises to strike the arm. Again, 1, strike 1, strike 2, 3, 4. 11. 11 starts to get a bit more tricky. Defend, block, block, block. From here, my first counter, 2. Block, 2. Block, push, 2. Block, 2. We then add a high 3, a 4, and a 3 for multiple counters. Block, 2, 3, 4, 3. Block, 2, 3, 4, 3. Block, 2, 3, 4, 3. This would be the block. I execute the 2. I defend throw my 3 high, and as they throw a 1 at my head, I move under it to strike with my 4, and then follow a 3. 12. Again, back to the simple template that we saw at the start. Block, 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 again with Luslik, single counter, block, 1, block, 1, block, 1, multiple counters, block, 1, 2, 3, block, 1, 2, 3, block, 1, 2, under the opponent's 1, 3, block, 1, 2, the opponent throws a 1, pass under, strike the knee, and done.
All right.
And as an extra bonus, you'll now get to watch the Masters do it because that is slightly more confusing without a partner.